My name is Natalie Troutman. I'm the new Client Onboarding Team Lead, and we are going to be talking about basically what happens when a client comes in who has used previously a tax calculation software and the software isn't working. Like, how do we identify that? How do we troubleshoot it? How do we fix it? So, when clients come in with using sales tax calculation software, so many things can go wrong because a lot of it is left with very little support. So, people assume and think that the setup is straightforward or managed by someone. There's some kind of oversight, and that's really not true in our experience. Clients often set something up assuming that it's going to work correctly, and there's no testing. For this particular client, they had previously used Avalara as their sales tax calculation software for multiple years with the assumption that like what tax collection was turned on was working well. And upon onboarding with TaxValet, we do a lot of double checking to make sure what settings already exist, where should you be collecting tax, where are you collecting tax, and is the tax that's being collected correct? All forms of oversight that aren't done with other software companies. And so we identified very, very quickly that the setup for this particular client in Avalara, it was like one very small piece of the setup within Avalara, something super easy to miss. It wasn't set up correctly. And because of that, they were under collecting by approximately 4%, 3 to 4% for multiple years in a very audit risky state. I know 3 to 4% doesn't sound like a lot, but when we're talking about Illinois, which is a super audit risky state to begin with, over several years period of time, like this can add up to tens of thousands of dollars, which is the case for this client that they have under collected over a period of multiple years. Thankfully, we were able to very quickly identify the problem, fix the problem, and test to confirm that now their tax collections are correct and consistent going forward. So we identified this problem early on in the onboarding stages because we do perform a lot of oversight to check things. And so part of our internal process is reviewing the tax settings set up within the sales channel. So looking at how things are working in Avalara, pulling reports, testing based off of live transaction orders to say, here's what you collected and here's what we expected you to collect. We actually find that this happens very, very frequently, especially in a handful of states in Avalara, because the setup it requires a very specific setup. There are multiple options in Avalara, and if you choose the wrong option, which many people do because they don't know, it can have really devastating financial impacts. And so it's really important to have someone who's familiar with the sales channel reviewing settings for accuracy, because we were able to successfully troubleshoot and correct in minutes. And so it's not an ongoing issue for this client. However, it had a large financial impact for their previous liabilities. So this particular client, like she was so receptive to giving us additional layers of access. Originally, we identified the problem to her, but we didn't have the right permissions in the system to make the necessary changes. And this is actually pretty common. I think it's a hard thing for people to relinquish like full control in a sales channel because they're concerned about like what changes could be made. However, she was very, very quick to give us the permissions necessary because this change needed to happen quickly and immediately. And so she was very grateful to have the resolution be done, handled, and have it out of her hands. We discover an issue with tax settings in new clients about 80% of the time, and we've seen it cost tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands of dollars. If you're not sure you're collecting the right amount of tax and you'd like to find out more about working with us, check us out at thetaxvalley.com.